All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about one of the most ambitious defense projects anywhere in the world, India's quest to build its very own fifth-generation stealth fighter. And trust me, this is a huge story about technology, strategy, and a completely new way of thinking about national defense. I mean, think about it. How do you even start to build an aircraft that can go toe-to-toe with the absolute best jets from the US, China, and Russia? It's not just about building a cool-looking plane. It's about mastering next-level science, incredibly complex software, and battle-winning strategy all at once. And that's where the big news comes in. India just pushed this massive project into a brand new phase. And here's the twist. Instead of just relying on the usual state-run companies, the government has handed the keys to some of the country's biggest private industrial giants. This, right here, is a total game changer. So, first things first. Let's meet the aircraft at the very heart of this story. What is this new fighter that's making so many waves? It's called the AMCA, which stands for Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft. And really, every part of that name tells you something important. Advanced and medium speak to its capabilities and size. Twin engine means it has serious power and can survive a fight. But that last part, fifth generation, that is the absolute key. That puts it in the most elite club of fighter jets on Earth. So what actually makes a jet fifth generation? Well, it's all about features like these. You've got advanced stealth coatings that make it basically a ghost to enemy radar. It has internal weapons bays, so it hides its missiles inside to keep that stealthy profile. And then there's supercruise, the incredible ability to fly faster than sound without guzzling fuel on afterburners. This isn't just a small step up, it's a whole different league. Okay, so that's the what. But why is India putting so much time, money, and effort into the AMCA? The answer really comes down to a simple but incredibly important numbers game. To be considered at full strength, to properly defend its massive borders and airspace, the Indian Air Force is supposed to have 42 fighter squadrons. That's the official number, the gold standard they need to meet all their strategic goals. But here's the reality on the ground. Right now, the Air Force is flying with fewer than 30 squadrons. That is a major shortfall, and it's a gap that has been a huge worry for military planners for a long time. And this chart just lays it all out, plain and simple. That gap you see between the bars isn't just a number on a slide. It represents a real strategic vulnerability. In a tough neighborhood, not having the air power you need is a serious risk. The AMCA is meant to be the long-term, homegrown fix for this exact problem. So, who exactly gets the massive job of turning this high-tech dream into a flying, fighting reality? Well, this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn, putting private companies right in the spotlight. Okay, so after the initial tenders were put out in July of 2025, a field of 7 bidders has now been whittled down to these 3 heavy hitters. You've got Tata Advanced Systems, a team-up led by the engineering giant L&T, and another consortium led by the metallurgy experts at Bharat Forge. And each of these groups brings some serious firepower to the table. Tata has real-world experience putting together large aircraft. The L&T and BEL partnership is a perfect match of hardcore structural engineering and cutting-edge avionics. And the Bharat Forge group are masters of the special metals and electronics integration you absolutely need for a stealth fighter. Now, if you follow Indian defense, I know what you're thinking. Hang on a second. Where is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, or HAL? For decades, they've been the backbone of India's aircraft industry. But surprisingly, they're not on this list. So here's the story. HAL's bid was apparently rejected because of a paperwork technicality, not because they weren't capable. And as their chairman says, this program is a marathon that will last nearly a decade. HAL fully expects to be involved later on. But for right now, for this critical first phase, the private sector is in the driver's seat. Okay, let's zoom out for a minute. What does it actually mean for India if they pull this off? Well, it means joining a very, very exclusive club. Just look at this list. As of today, only 3, count them, 3 nations have designed, built, and are flying their own 5th-generation stealth fighters. The United States, China, and Russia. That's it. If India succeeds with the AMCA, it becomes only the 4th country in history to pull off this incredible technological achievement. And that's why this is such a big deal. You see, this project is about so much more than adding a new jet to the inventory. It's a quantum leap for India's entire industrial and tech base. It's the ultimate expression of Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliance, in the most critical defense sector of all. But let's be perfectly clear. This is not going to be easy. The road from a blueprint on a computer screen to a combat-ready stealth fighter is incredibly long and filled with enormous challenges. This timeline really puts it all into perspective. The process kicked off in 2025, we're now at the shortlist stage, and the first jets aren't even expected to join the Airforce until around 2035. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And these are the three biggest mountains they have to climb. First, the engine. Building a high-performance jet engine is one of the hardest things you can do, and India will most likely need to partner with a global expert like Safran from France or Britain's Rolls-Royce. Then, you have to perfect the special radar-absorbent materials for stealth. And finally, you have to get all the complex, AI-driven computers and sensors to talk to each other perfectly. But the payoff is huge. The goal is a fleet of over 125 of these amazing jets. And the best part? The vast majority, around 90 of them, would be built in India by these new private partners. That's a massive shot in the arm for the entire defense industry. Which brings us to one final big question. In today's world, where alliances can shift and global supply chains can break, is the ability to design and build your own most important defense equipment the truest form of security? For India, the answer seems to be a clear and powerful yes.